Hey, welcome to the news. Stay to the end to find out how we get there. Today we're talking about kids and the energy within kids and trying to be able to tap into that energy to be able to make random businesses, to be able to bring that idea to school, to be able to make collaborations like a global collective game that we're always constantly playing with children that corresponds to the new essence of artificial intelligence and connecting that to children mindsets. Children mindsets just be able to make in real time creativity, collaboration, connectivity by leveraging a connection to the brain into prompts, directly into artificial intelligence prompts, so that it's just kind of like sourcing and seeking and seeping out different interesting characterizations and charismatics and character traits from kids to collaboratively work together at schools, for example, so that more or less collaborative connections in terms of activities where kids get together and they group and huddle together connect to collaborations that are feed directly into prompts and AI, so that every little piece and tidbit that different people connect is an inference that connect into a greater collage, into a mosaic of connections of personal additions from different kids in the classes, for example. Those all equal iterations in terms of prompts, in terms of artificial intelligence engineering of aspects of business that just weave themselves together. Different aspects of businesses, there's only so many parts to businesses, so all these energy traits that connect to kids and their school times could be better and best used to be able to develop businesses, meaning actually solve problems by mistake, because the AIs can iterate on the rest of whatever's missing in the puzzle. So they can also use time to be able to push time against themselves to be able to develop basically games where you count down to be able to make an answer, to force an answer, force an iteration, force the development of a concept of a classroom challenge within small child concepts of any age range, ranging from preschool to middle school to high school to just elementary school to the schools in between preschool and elementary school, that all these kids have energy that is always just usually going to waste, and all this is creativity energy, and this can be consistently tapped into to develop new businesses. And preschools and things are actively innovating and invigorating kids by having a direct connection in this process, so that we can finally actually get the idea of business to be able to be developed into business music at an early age. And it's basically just the idea of business is taught and finance, because there's an essence of why we do this podcast, spiritual finance, that is brought about by developing something by accident. It takes shape in an accidental form because the kids can start to make influences in larger machines with their energy, larger business machines that are iterated on by AI, that most people that are adults are just have a resonance and a connection, or in other words a thought that is ingrained regarding business to not try for many reasons. There's always so many reasons, whereas one of the fundamental ideas about artificial intelligence is that it's able to fill in the gaps, it's able to fill in the blanks of what's not there, to just make a business complete, a business process, business ideation, vendors, conceptualizations, to be able to get business sequences and business frequencies flowing, so that kids have the ability, because they already organically flow different energies and thoughts, and so being able to collaborate them with each other as groups and play groups, and then also counting down and causing the need to say answers by certain time frames is a way to try to get kids to just iterate in the right direction of businesses, so that problem solving connection to the greater world can start early as possible through trying to iterate on empowering kids and business and the game of business as soon as possible. It's meant to teach about business as soon as possible. It's like a continuous puzzle that are being made by economic contributions, an ongoing puzzle that is more or less like connecting the kids around the world to the economy just through this coding process, this automatic coding process, and also connecting this idea with Airbnb, this idea of like there's so many commercial real estate and different retail places in the world that are not being rented. And if kids enter the business market, the business realm, they can enter into commercial spaces by like also doing timeshares, like similar, like doing somewhat timeshares in the commercial retail space where they're trying to connect directly with people in the community. They're trying to directly promote their processes, their ideas, their businesses. And so they can do timeshares in commercial spaces that are not necessarily being used, and they can do like an Airbnb, short-term time spaces, spending short-term part-time to get experience running a business and trying to be in the community, and having like an Airbnb of sorts become something unique to try to like conceptualize to add to the market through Airbnb times, co-working times, kids being able to use them as timeshares. If people are interested, which many people are interested in helping kids along. So it feels like that's something that could be potentially usable and worthwhile. And we're just trying to develop more logos like circle loops, circle logos that are just like energy, that basically are loops that make, have the ability to add value in the world and solve problems. And that's what the logo is. It's a depiction of the highest impact potential of a logo of a circle of potential. And this is to try to exponentially expedite through the use of kid energy, having artificial intelligence ride and personify the kid energy that can wildly occur now through collaboration and inference and indications through just like inferred prompts. Prompts that the AIs are able to read and then recycle and then recontextualize and make themselves, because they can read into the foundational energy and the character and the charismatic nature of an energy of kids in a classroom, for example. And then all the kids in the world times the essence of excitement revolving around business is really something that is a significant catalyst to try to be able to tap into the whole kid energy market, to be able to start to solve global problems and more or less show adults how artificial intelligence is used, show the adults how it's done, because they don't think so much in terms of having preconceived notions, and they want to let all the circle logos that equal potential in the world that could happen, let them free into the sky, so that the kids, just instead of doing homework that only one teacher sees, the whole world can see the potential energy that was caused, and in an ongoing perpetual sense going forward. So it continues to unfold and enhance itself and improve itself based around kids and the kid energy, which is always sometimes, unfortunately, whimsically lost following a swift transition into the adult, more so adult realm, as it sort of has been. That's sort of the trend among. So trying to capture that energy before it fades away in kids is the idea of the podcast today. And that's about all for now. Thanks again, Dinky Tech and Change for Games Studios. Dinky T, Change for Games. Bye, peace, bye. And let's all remember to push for world peace every single day. Let's all remember to push for world peace every single day. Let's push for world peace every single day. And also, let's remember to try to clear the animal shelters. Let's clear all the animal shelters in the world. Let's clear all the animal shelters in the world, because we can foster all the shelter animals. We can adopt all the shelter animals in the world. We can rescue all the shelter animals in the world. And we can also hire the shelter animals as healers. We can also hire the shelter animals as healers all throughout the world, so that they don't have to be mistreated in animal shelters. And we can clear the animal shelters, and we can hire the shelter animals as healers throughout our communities. Hire the shelter animals as healers throughout our communities, because they also work for free, and they could use better purpose and use better jobs and be able to add value and be therapeutic energy for humans and humanity, to help us be more harmonious as humans and among humanity for all the animals in the world, to clear all the animal shelters, to try to get them to transition their energy in terms of therapeutic energy to all humans, so we can clear the animal shelters to add value to humanity in terms of harmony if possible. And let's push for world peace every single day and clear the animal shelters every day. That's all for now. Thanks again, Dinky Tech and Change for Game Studios. Bye. Peace. Bye.